Hello, thank you for watching. I just wanted to show a quick little video on how I cleaned up some audio for a video testimonial I recently did. And the audio setup that we had was a little bit less than desirable. We had three people that I was interviewing simultaneously, but we only had one shotgun mic that I put right in front of them. We had a pretty large size room that we were interviewing them in, so it picked up that mic, picked up that room hiss and some unwanted noise that was there, like echo flutter or whatever when they're talking. Plus there were some kids playing down the hall. So we got some of that. And I believe I actually got a car horn outside as well. So as you start to develop or process this audio, these things start to come to surface, and so you got to fix it. This is what I did. I first put everything into Premiere, Adobe Premiere, and cut up the video the way I wanted it to keep the content I want, got rid of the stuff I don't, and take that audio and bounce it out and bring it into Pro Tools. And then I edit it some more. So you can see these big gaps in here. Those are areas where where there could have been some noise. Maybe there was some points where they said or maybe I heard it, maybe the kids were coming through, or the car horn, which I think was around here somewhere. So I take those out. And in the process of doing that, I also needed to use clip gain, which is the ability to, it's something that Pro Tools has, a lot of these have. You can take the clip and you can actually give it some gain. So you'll see that I've raised this up by 7.8 decibels, this one 16, because when she was so far away from the mic that when she was saying the name of the company, which is very important, it went unnoticed. She kind of tailed off. So no matter what I put in for processing, it still needed to be boosted up. So you can hear, here's the original. Without the music, please. Let's do that one more time.
I'm Elizabeth Gamino.
And I'm Aileen Rizzo, and we are co-owners of Stembox Car.
So you hear a lot of room noise, and you can hear the boost right here.
Co-owners of Stembox Car.
I had to raise that up because she kind of trailed off just because of how distant she was from the mic. Once I had that squared away throughout the whole thing, all the clipping all done, I then now introduce, a vocal processor. In this case, I'm using iZotope Nectar, which has a bunch of presets to get you started, and then you can come into the advanced section and kind of fiddle with it from there. Essentially, what I wanted to fiddle with was the EQ. What I ultimately would want to do in an ideal situation is have each person on their own channel. Like in this case, there'd be 3 channels, each person with their own channel, and I would EQ them all separately. But they all sounded about the same. There were 3 females. There was no lower, deep voiced male in there or anything like that. So their voices were all so similar. One EQ seemed to work for both. And if I found it unnecessary, it'd just be a lot of extra work. So I didn't do that. So I fiddle with the EQ here to find something that fits great for all 3, and it did. And then I think the other thing I may have done is maybe fix the gate so they're not choppy. And I think that was it. I think I adjusted the limiter just a little bit, and then that was basically all I did. Notice I didn't use the compressors because I'm going to be using those later individually by myself with better stuff. But this is what it sounds like using this plugin. It just basically boosts everything up, and now we can really hear all the problems.
Aileen Rizzo, and we are co-owners of Stembox Car. Stembox Car.
You can really hear the dropout right here where the edit is, and that's expected, right? So that's the kind of stuff now we have to fix. One other thing that I do, that I usually use, is this little plugin called BBE Sonic Maximizer. This thing is a beautiful little plugin, and essentially what it does is, as I've been told, I don't understand it, but what it does is realign frequency bands, right? So I guess as they go through distortion or as they go through processors, they can begin to get out of line, which brings a little bit of distortion or tinniness to the person's voice. This thing really beefs it up really well. And so I'm going to start it without, and then I'll put it back on, and you can hear what it sounds like. It really, really gives it a full body volume.
Aileen Rizzo, and we are co-owners of Stembox Car. Aileen Rizzo, and we are co-owners of Stembox Car.
Just gave it a lot more full body. I think it's just a beautiful little plugin. I use it all the time on everything. It's wonderful. So then I introduced a de-esser again. Like I said, the iZotope Nectar, it had a de-esser right here, right? But I introduced another one just to make sure that we cap off anything that's going to be in that high frequency when they have any sibilants such as S's and so on. It may not, you can see it reacting, so it is working.
Aileen Rizzo, and we are co-owners of Stembox.
So it is working, but it just kind of caps off anything. Now that we're boosting, I just want to introduce another de-esser just to make sure we don't give anybody a headache. The last thing that I do to help clear out the rest of this noise, because now that's the last thing we really have. The body, the volume of the voice is up. You can hear everything they're saying. It sounds full-bodied. It sounds really good. And we don't have any sibilance happening that's giving people a headache. So we accomplished all those goals. Now the last goal is taking out all this extra room noise. Listen to this.
Eileen Rizzo, and we are co-owners of STEM.
Now, you hear it really good over here.
Science, technology, engineering, and math, and that's what STEM stands for. And we chose.
See how that noise, you can hear that just hiss, a constant hiss, and that's just natural. It's a microphone picking up dead air, you know. So that's where this plugin comes in. This is a noise suppressor, and it's basically a glorified gate. And what it does is just take all that stuff out. You set it where you need it, and then it'll crush it or basically act like a gate. And just anytime they're not talking, it'll close the gate, and it won't let that air in there. So let's take a listen to it with and without, or without and then with.
Science, technology, engineering, and math, and that's what STEM stands for. And
okay, now let's listen to it.
Science, technology, engineering, and math, and that's what STEM stands for. It
took out a lot of that. Now it's still not perfect, but that's because of the mic setup that we had, right? This is where introducing music in the background can just kind of fill in the gaps, and it does a great job for that. And one thing that I've seen a lot of people do is not mix them together using like a compressor or something. And what it ends up happening is that it sounds like the vocal is sitting just on top of the music, and they don't sound like they're working together organically. What I use to combat that is a multi-band compressor. The music is going to be filling up a very large frequency band, and the vocal, or the person talking, is going to be filling up a limited amount. So this kind of covers it all. And what it's essentially doing is breaking it up into 3 frequency bands, and each one of them has their own personal compressor, right? And you can see them right here. So now we're going to listen to it as its final mix. But that's basically what I use: the vocal processor, right? The BBE Sonic Maximizer, another de-esser, and then a noise suppressor, and then I have everything going into my multi-band compressor. The last little thing I have here is just a brick wall limiter, nothing fancy schmancy. That just makes sure that it doesn't get too loud, and I'm telling it exactly how loud I want it to get. Anyways, that was it. That's all I had to share. I hope this was helpful, and I'd be interested to hear what you guys use. On the way out, let's listen to the final product.
Activities in science, technology, engineering, and math, and that's what STEM stands for. And we chose the names.